Hey, what is up guys? Guitar Rock here. Welcome back to another Tower of Fantasy video. Alright, today's video we're going to talk about Saki FUWA. So if you guys are not aware, there's been some leaks recently. Now this was about 4 days ago, obviously from FUWA_TOF, a very credible person as far as leaks goes. I do trust FUWA for sure based on what I've seen in the past, but obviously just because I trust this person doesn't mean that you should as well. So take all of this information in this video with a grain of salt. So let's jump into it. Now, we'll be comparing a number of things, but first we want to focus on the most important one, Saki FUWA. Will she has the elemental resonance? Yes, most likely she will have. As you can see, some of the words are still in Chinese, but this resonance you can see right here, 15% and 25%. This is in line with what Ruby has as well. Cobalt B has resonance, same applies for Ruby. So if you want to pull for Saki FUWA, do you need Freak? No, like she is fine as her own. She has the Frost resonance, which previously we thought it was just exclusive to Freak alone, but looks like Saki will have that as well. So let's focus on her advancements and basically get a little bit of idea what she can do comparing her to the CN version. So you can see 1 star right here when you have Frost resonance activated, which should be easily doable. Just pair her with one more Frost character. All weapon skill cooldowns are cleared every 5 times weapon skills are used. This is pretty cool, and the damage of flow and counter attack is increased by 1 time for the 25-second. So again, a bit of translation error right here. There's a chance that this 1 time could mean something else, but basically it's trying to say that it will increase the flow and counter attack by once. Compared to in the CN, double the damage of circulation and counter attack for 25 seconds. So it's a little bit different. Not entirely sure what this increase by 1 time means, but I do think it's going to have the same effect. More than likely it's just a translation error. It looks like it's going to have the same thing going forward. Let's observe the 3 stars. Alright, so 3 stars, again this is in not fully translated, but notice for the CN version, it will increase 900% of Frost attack, which is a lot. Cooldown for the Sword Shadow Surge cooldown reduced to 5 seconds. So 900% and 5 seconds. So that's going to be toned down a little bit. So 900% gets reduced all the way to 270%, and the 5 seconds still remain. If you look at it from a glance, that's a huge nerf, but I don't think it's that bad. So Ruby does have a big number change as well. That's like a big jump from 900% to 270%, but keep in mind the monsters in CN are also buff, so our monsters are, as I've been told, the HP of our monsters are nerfed a little bit, so I think she's still going to be fine regardless. So let's have a look at the 5 and 6 stars respectively. So 5 star, Shadow Sword's Surge triggers Fantasia upon hitting a target, shares cooldown with Fantasia triggered by dodging. So same stuff right here going on. And the last but not least, 6 stars. If you happen to max out the Saki FUWA all the way to A6, what do you get? So upon hitting a target with Surge, increase Frost damage by 8%. And upon triggering Block Sword Shadow, reduce the Frost damage dealt by enemies by 25%. So you get 8% increase in damage, 25% of Frost resistance from the enemies, and it's nerfed a little bit from the CN version. CN version is 20%, alright, as opposed to 8%. So what does this mean? This means that Saki is going to be quite a good free-to-play character as well. So you can see it's more of, if you are getting her with just 1 or 2 copies, it's going to be fine. Her A1 seems to be the best one based on what I can observe right now. Definitely, if you're going all the way for 6 stars, you are getting the 8% increased damage. This is good. I think it's very good. It makes the game much more free-to-play friendly. This is how you want to balance a character. So basically, make it so that her kit doesn't change much, and you get diminished value as the stars go up. If the difference is too high, it's going to make the game feels pay to win. Like, I do think this is a good direction, at least based on what I can observe from the advancements. Now let's jump into the skill. Now I've checked through the skill, nothing is changed from all the normal attacks, jump attacks, the jump hold attacks, and everything else is exactly the same. So let's focus on the more important topic, which is Saki's skill overall. Now if you guys are not aware, Saki has 2 stances. Basically this can be swapped before battle. So if you go in for Fortitude Resonance, she will have one particular stance, which is called the Calm stance or something. but if you are using any other thing other than Fortitude Resonance, she will be the Surging Heart stance. So she basically, her skill depends on the stance as well, so let's observe at her skill. So Surging Heart style, so you can see, dash in your direction, briefly immobilize enemies in your way, dealing delayed damage up to 927% of attack, cooldown for 30 seconds. Now this is going to get nerfed. The 927% is reduced to 445%. Again, similar with Freak, right? So it gets half, which is not too bad. This is going to be her main source of damage, but I think at 445%, it's still really high. The multiplier is still insanely high. So going into the other style, enter charging state up to 3 seconds while charging continuously. Taunt surrounding targets, absorb damage up to 60% of max HP. So when charging ends, deal frost damage based on the damage absorbed, equal to 850% multiplied by frost damage plus 50% multiplied by amount of damage absorbed. 20% of that amount that is not used is converted into health. Now you can see entirely here, the only number that changes is this particular one. The 850% is going to be reduced to 408%. The rest is still the same. So let's have a look at her passive skill. Alright, her passive skill, you can see, like I mentioned, depending on which resonance you use, she will have multiple styles. Alright, so you can see, cast the skill to summon the shadow sword that follows you. Basically, she will deal 450% of frost attack as AoE damage to the target, and it will unleash this thing called the Surge that has a cooldown of 10 seconds. Now this particular 450% is going to be reduced to 135%, as you can see right here. Now again, for this particular skill, there's a secondary effect depending on which resonance you go for. Now if you're not using the Fortitude Resonance, you're just either using Balance or Offense, then you're gonna be able to unleash this one where you deal 125% of frost attack as damage to another target, recovering 57% of the damage as health. So she's able to heal herself, which is pretty cool. Each recovery is capped at 100% of attack. Again, they are changing the frost attack that she does. They are just nerfing down the damage a little bit. 125% gets reduced to 30%. Ooh, for this particular one, whereas the rest remains the same. So I'm not sure how much potential this would be able to reduce her healing, because this amount of damage is going to determine how much she heals. So that 125% now reduced to 30%, and the ability to heal might drop down a little bit, but we'll see. Like I don't think it's that bad. 125%, 30%. One more is a calm style. Basically 3 block charges, last for 10 seconds, blocking up to 15% of max HP. So basically she has a counter attack, kind of cool. Alright, so each successful block will counter the enemy and equal to 450% of frost attack. Again, this particular 450% frost attack is going to be reduced to 225%, or almost half again. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. Last but not least, we have her discharge. Discharge is about the total damage of 864%, so this is going to get reduced, I believe, to 536%. So normal skills, how she works, how she operates is still going to be the same. Her ability is still the same. It's just that her skill, which is her highest dealing damage based on CN, that skill is kind of broken, so they are nerfing it down to balance it for global. Now so far, based on what I observe, I do think this is a similar nerfs to what we have seen before, which is not that much of a nerf, to be honest. It's much more of a balancing. And I do think she's still going to be strong with all of these particular numbers brought down for global. Now again, take all of this information with a grain of salt. There's a chance that this could change as well. So depending on, you know, when her release is, if you have a high star Meryl, there's a chance that Meryl might still be able to output more damage compared to a low advancement Saki. So that's something that I'll be curious to test out myself as well. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.